Hello, and welcome back to the channel. Today we're taking a deep dive into one of the most electrifying assets on the planet right now, silver. It's January 16th, 2026, and the silver market is in a state of incredible flux, marked by both sharp volatility and a powerful upward surge. So grab your coffee and let's break down what's happening, why it matters, and where this precious metal might be headed next. First, let's get a snapshot of the current market. As I'm recording this, the spot price of silver is hovering around $90.73 per troy ounce. Now that's actually down about 1.78% for the day, but don't let that fool you. This slight pullback comes right after silver hit an all-time high of $93.57 earlier this week. The trading day has been a roller coaster, with prices swinging between $89 and $92. Activity is robust, with over 85,000 futures contracts traded today alone. This tells us that despite a minor correction, investor interest is stronger than ever. To really grasp the magnitude of this move, let's look at the bigger picture. Year to date, silver has already rocketed up by nearly 29%. This is on top of its absolutely explosive performance in 2025, where it gained between 140 and 150%. To put that in perspective, silver is currently outpacing its big brother gold, which is up a respectable 22% this year, trading above $4,600 an ounce. This has crushed the gold-to-silver ratio down to about 50, a huge drop from historical averages closer to 80. This signals that silver is not just performing well, it's outperforming gold and might still be undervalued. Over the past month alone, silver is up nearly 37%, and year over year, it's posted a mind-boggling gain of almost 200%. Silver has officially transformed from a niche industrial metal into a front-and-center asset for anyone looking to hedge against economic uncertainty. Now, to understand where we are, we have to look at how we got here. The story really begins in 2025. Prices essentially doubled, launching from the $30 to $40 range to nearly $84 by the end of the year. This rally was fueled by a perfect storm: persistent supply shortages, booming industrial demand, and a massive global shift toward hard assets as a safe haven. As we entered 2026, silver briefly consolidated around $71 in early January before launching on this incredible parabolic run we are seeing now. Looking at the day-to-day price action, the trend is crystal clear. Silver closed 2025 at $71.45. By January the 5th, it was $76. The next day, $82. By January 13th, it hit $87, and just yesterday, it closed at $91. That's a 27% gain in just over 2 weeks. This is what a price discovery phase looks like, when an asset breaks through all previous ceilings and starts trading in uncharted territory. It's reminiscent of the legendary bull markets of the late 70s and 2011, but the drivers this time are unique. On social media, the buzz is palpable. People are talking about exponential acceleration, with some even forecasting a wild run to $400 in the first half of this year, drawing parallels to the high inflation era of the 1970s. We're also seeing signs of physical shortages, with spot prices sometimes trading higher than futures prices, a condition known as backwardation. From a technical analysis perspective, the chart is undeniably bullish, but it's also flashing some warning signs of being overextended. Silver is trading comfortably above its key moving averages, which have provided support during this rally. The next major support levels to watch are around $86 and $84. On the upside, resistance is forming between $92 and $95. If we break through that, $100 is the next big psychological target. Indicators like the Relative Strength Index, or RSI, are in overbought territory, suggesting the price might be due for a breather. However, some long-term chart patterns, like a potential cup and handle formation, point towards a continuation of this bullish trend. The key takeaway is that while the upward momentum is strong, the risk of a sharp pullback is also elevated after such a rapid ascent. So what's fundamentally driving this incredible rally? It's a powerful combination of silver's dual identity as both a monetary metal and an indispensable industrial commodity. Industrial demand now makes up 60 to 70% of all silver consumption and is projected to hit record highs this year. The green energy transition is a massive catalyst. Solar panels alone consume up to 30% of the annual supply. Electric vehicles use significantly more silver than traditional cars. And let's not forget the explosive growth in AI data centers, 5G networks, and consumer electronics, all of which require silver. The U.S. government even classified silver as a critical mineral, which has spurred stockpiling and made shortages even worse. On the other side of the equation, the supply side is under extreme pressure. We are now in the 5th consecutive year of a market deficit, with demand far outstripping supply. Mine production has stagnated, and while recycling is helping, it's not enough to close the gap. To make matters worse, China implemented export controls on silver at the beginning of this year, which has sent shockwaves through the global market and intensified the physical tightness. Adding fuel to the fire are macroeconomic factors. Softer inflation data in the U.S. has led to expectations of Federal Reserve rate cuts, which weakens the dollar and is typically bullish for commodities like silver. Geopolitical tensions and a trend of resource nationalism, where countries secure their own critical supplies, are also driving significant safe haven buying and stockpiling by nations like Russia, India, and Saudi Arabia. With all this in mind, what are the experts saying? Forecasts for 2026 are all over the map, which reflects just how volatile silver is right now. Some of the more bullish analysts, like those at Bank of America, see potential for silver to peak anywhere from $135 to over $300, citing historical ratios and the unprecedented demand surge. More conservative forecasts, like one from HSBC, call for an average price around $68, assuming supply issues will ease. Online, the sentiment is overwhelmingly bullish. You see targets of $130 or more, with many believing the supply-driven rally is just getting started. However, there are also voices of caution, warning about overbought conditions and the risk of sudden margin hikes on futures exchanges, which could trigger a sharp sell-off. So, what are the risks to this bullish narrative? A stronger U.S. dollar, a significant economic slowdown in China, or major technological breakthroughs that reduce the amount of silver needed in solar panels could all put downward pressure on the price. On the flip side, the upside catalysts are powerful. Worsening supply deficits, an acceleration of the AI and green energy booms, and a continued trend away from the U.S. dollar as the world's primary reserve currency. In conclusion, the silver market in January 2026 is a fascinating, high-stakes arena. It embodies a potent mix of industrial necessity and monetary safe haven appeal. While short-term corrections are not only possible, but likely after such a rapid run-up, the underlying structural fundamentals point towards sustained strength for the foreseeable future. A test of the $100 level and beyond seems very much on the table if these trends hold. For anyone invested or thinking about investing in silver, the key is to watch the supply data, central bank policies, and geopolitical developments very closely. Silver's dual nature amplifies both the opportunities and the risks, making it one of the most exciting stories in finance today. Thanks for watching. If you found this analysis helpful, please hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, and ring the bell so you don't miss our next update. We'll see you in the next video.